Guys, there have been reports that Chrisean Junior's medical records leak, and based on what's in there, he is allegedly supposed to be on palliative care. Y'all, palliative care isn't just hospice, and medically, it is specialized, multidisciplinary medical care focused on optimizing quality of life and managing severe symptoms for children living with complex, life-altering, or chronic neurological conditions. If I'm being honest, seeing the internet turn a toddler's private health life into a viral circus is already insane. But reading these allegations about palliative care is a whole different level of heartbreaking. But if these medical reports are accurate, and he's facing these severe, chronic conditions, why does it feel like the adults around him are more focused on social media clout and living out their public mess than getting him dedicated, round-the-clock medical stability? How did it even get to this point? And most importantly, who is in that baby's corner, advocating strictly for his health and safety? Cause Chrisean Rock is too busy throwing hands with somebody in the streets of Hollywood, and I'm talking full-blown fist fight. Wow, this is honestly so sad. But let's get into those leaked medical records. Now, first off, we gotta address these leaked medical records, because that whole situation is just downright dirty. I mean, airing out a baby's private health info on the internet for public consumption is crazy, regardless of how people feel about Chrisean or Blueface. But here's the reality check everybody needs on HIPAA, cause y'all keep screaming HIPAA violation. Here's that thing. Your friends, family, and random internet trolls are not bound by HIPAA laws. HIPAA only applies to covered entities, meaning the doctors, nurses, hospital staff, and insurance providers who signed those privacy agreements. So if a family member or acquaintance gets their hands on the paperwork and posts it on TikTok, they may open themselves up to a civil lawsuit, but they aren't going to federal prison for a HIPAA breach. Anyway, according to the leaked records, allegedly Junior was born with several conditions, the first ones being FASD and NAS, that is, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and neonatal abstinence syndrome. Scientifically, NAS happens when an infant experiences withdrawal right after birth due to exposure, leading to central nervous system irritability, tremors, and severe feeding issues. FASD, on the other hand, occurs from prenatal alcohol exposure and often presents with classic facial features which people have said they totally see from Junior, like thin upper lip and smaller head size. Of course, there have been videos of Chrisean drinking and smoking while she was pregnant, so that definitely isn't surprising. Anyway, allegedly Junior also has spastic diplegia and seizure disorder. Basically, spasticity is a neurological condition causing stiff, abnormally tight muscles that make basic movement or walking extremely difficult, which is why Junior is often carried or in a stroller. Notice how his legs look super tight and tend to pull together or cross slightly when he tries to step.
Okay. Where you going? Where you going? Where you about to go? Where you about to go, Chrisean? Huh?
That's classic scissoring gait, or stiff muscle tone caused by spastic diplegia, which specifically affects the lower body's motor control. This condition frequently stems from damage to the brain's motor pathways. And with Junior, there's allegedly also a co-occurring seizure disorder, which is common when there is underlying central nervous system damage. Also, when you look at some of the recent videos Chrisean has been posting, medics are saying that this is a clear case of hypotonia, or low muscle tone in the trunk. While his legs look stiff, his core looks like it struggles to hold his upper body upright. And this mix of high tone in the limbs and low tone in the torso makes standing without heavy upper body support nearly impossible. There have also been reports that he also suffers from cortical visual impairment, which is a visual processing disorder where the eyes themselves might be fine, but the brain's visual processing centers are damaged. This causes major issues with visual attention, spatial awareness, and visual recognition. And again, this is something people have also noticed from videos of Chrisean feeding the baby. Like, Junior rarely even blinks and just stares in space. And if we bring in Chrisean's sister's alleged claims into the mix, specifically that Chrisean had an untreated chlamydia or herpes and turned down a recommended C-section, that adds a massive medical layer to why Junior might be dealing with severe visual and neurological issues.
Because I was there, it didn't kick in. It didn't kick in. When the nurses came in and told you, can they talk to you about yourself? I'm like, no. Just go ahead and put it out there when I was wrong. Yeah, and they said you had chlamydia. Your love your 6 didn't kick in. They said we had to do a C-section. Guess what? You refused. You didn't want to mess up your little tattoo. Or you didn't want to get cut, right? Don't worry. Where your mama instincts was at then? Because you sent through that infected canal, right? You did. You did that. So don't do that. And I encourage you. I keep asking you, leave me alone. But you want to play with my children now, right? You play with my children, talking about my grandbaby, like. And you know what's crazy? We would never talk about Chrisean because he's special and we really love him. But yo, you are foul. You are foul and disgusting.
See, when a baby passes through the birth canal of an infected mother, bacteria enter the baby's eyes. If untreated immediately with antibiotic eye ointment, it leads to severe conjunctivitis, corneal scarring, and eventual blindness or major visual impairment. This lines up perfectly with ongoing online speculation regarding cortical visual impairment, CVI, or severe optic nerve damage. But as we also heard from Blue's mother, Chrisean didn't even give birth in a regular hospital, so they probably didn't even care for the baby properly. Now, could early detection have been helpful? Absolutely. Scientific consensus shows that early intervention, such as physical therapy for spasticity, vision therapy for CVI, and seizure management medications, can significantly improve developmental outcomes and motor function when started early in infancy. Braces would give his ankles and feet the alignment they desperately need so he isn't placing weight awkwardly on tight joints. And intensive pediatric physical therapy would be essential to stretch those tight leg muscles, build core stability, and prevent permanent joint contractures where the muscles shorten permanently. But because these steps were not taken early, it's impossible to tell whether the baby will get better. And here's where the palliative care comes in, and why there have been allegations that Junior might not live long. See, when a baby has severe muscle spasticity and brain-level motor damage, the muscles controlling their throat don't coordinate properly. Instead of food, formula, or spit going down the esophagus into the stomach, it slips into the lungs. Over time, that foreign material breeds severe bacterial infections, which is one of the leading causes of mortality in kids with severe neurological impairment. I mean, just listen to how this baby was coughing, and tell me it's not alarming.
See, he just coughed it all up. Good boy. Give me that. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy.
Since the leaked medical reports allege that Junior has seizure disorder, when a seizure lasts longer than 5 minutes or happens repeatedly without the child regaining consciousness in between, it can starve the brain of oxygen, cause brain swelling, cardiac arrest, or sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. In addition, there's also the risk of autonomic dysreflexia and central nervous system failure, which means that the central nervous system damage can mess with the brainstem's ability to keep the heart beating at a steady rhythm or maintain normal respiration, especially during sleep. Then there's also the fact that if the gut's nerves and muscles aren't firing due to early substance exposure or brain injury, the baby can't process nutrients or retain food. This leads to chronic malnutrition, extreme electrolyte imbalances, and immune system collapse, making even a minor stomach bug potentially fatal. Honestly, the sad part is that instead of the parents taking the necessary steps, they are just out here doing the absolute most on social media. And I've heard that Chrisean is out here crying because people are saying her son won't live long. Well, people are looking at those tears and saying, where was this energy when he actually needed you? It's like she's crying over the public's harsh reaction. But when it came to doing the heavy lifting behind the scenes, getting him consistent physical therapy, setting up his medical appointments, or keeping him out of chaotic, dangerous environments, she was nowhere to be found. I mean, you can't ignore early signs, brush off doctors, and put the baby in messy situations, and then cry on live when people point out that his condition is serious. If she's really that heartbroken, people want to see her log off social media, put the cloud away, and go lock in with some real doctors to give that baby the round-the-clock care he desperately needs. The other sad part is that Chrisean has millions of young followers who watch her every move. And when an influencer normalizes medical neglect under the guise of faith or not letting people put a curse on her baby, it validates medical distrust for a whole demographic of young parents and teaches them that protecting your ego and staying defensive is more important than sitting in a doctor's office, hearing a hard truth, and doing the work to fix it. At the end of the day, this poor baby is allegedly dealing with complex, chronic neurological issues that need a whole team of specialists just to keep his symptoms under control and optimize his day-to-day quality of life. It is honestly devastating to think about him having to go through that kind of medical battle so early on, and it's even sadder that there are people saying that he probably won't live long. However, at the moment, moment, what that little boy needs more than anything is privacy, aggressive early intervention, consistent medical care, and adults who will put his physical well-being above social media views. And I personally hope he gets the care he needs. But you let me know what you think of this devastating situation in the comments section below.